platform, what is Microsoft Fabric, and we have gone through course overview, right? Uh, so we have gone through the Power BI, what exactly Power BI is, right, in previous session. But don't worry, though it doesn't make any much sense. But going forward, when we go to the technical part, right? So we'll come back to this uh, definitions again. So in today's session, we will see first Power BI installation. Those who don't have Power BI installed in a system, so I'll just walk you through how to install Power BI, and then we will see how to get data to Power BI. So this will, from today, we will start more into technical part. We will see how to get the data from both from on-premise and cloud. And I'll just walk you through the UI, what are the options available in Power BI. Then, if time permits, we'll go through the row transformations. We'll start with the first transformations today. All right. So, do you have any questions or any doubts from the previous session?
No, they.
Okay. So yesterday we have seen, right, a Power BI is a Microsoft self-service BI platform for both on-premise and cloud-based data. So today we will see how to get the data from on-premise and cloud so that you will get little understanding. And then we have seen the different parts of Power BI. Today I will show you Power BI desktop. Going forward, we will see Power BI service. So most of the time, around like 70 to 80%, we'll work on Power BI desktop. So where we do all the development work. So creating reports, getting data, cleaning the data, all the everything we do at Power BI desktop. Once it got finalized, if we feel that a report is good, then we will publish that into Power BI service. So 20% of work will be in the Power BI service. If you're purely developer, so 90% of work will be at Power BI desktop. And only the thing is like you publish your report to Power BI service, and we do some of the things at Power BI service. But if you're Power BI administrator, or if you're team lead or your manager, you will be more into Power BI service where you handle the workspace, access related things, everything at Power BI service. When it comes to Power BI mobile, very few people they use Power BI mobile because most of the people they use systems, right? Systems and laptops. So very few people like those who are at a high level manager level or who are CTOs, those who don't have access to laptops, then they use the Power BI mobile. So Power BI service and Power BI mobile, we will look into this later. First, we will concentrate on Power BI desktop. Right, so first we will see how to install the Power BI. So parallelly, if you want, you can install the Power BI. If not, I will provide the lab where you will be having a step by step how to install the Power BI. That we will provide this. So here you can see step by step how to install Power BI. So, but if you still want to do installation on call, if in case if you stuck, so I'll get a chance to guide you, right? So you can go to browser. How many of you have a Power BI installed in your systems? Okay, if not, if you don't have any Power BI installed in your system, so just follow these instructions. So you can go to any browsers, just type for Power BI desktop. Down. So that will take you to the official website. So here you can see. So we have a latest version here. And so here you can see some of the things we can do at Power BI. So where you can get the data, create relationship, create reports, save reports, and publish your reports. And here you can see the system requirements. So the only requirement is like it should be from Windows 8 at least. So now if your operating system should be at least Windows 8. And apart from that, most of the systems you will get this. And one of the things is like Power BI desktop is not available for Mac users. In case if anyone have a Mac users, please raise your hand so that I can walk you through how to install for the Mac. If not, then if everyone having a Windows machines, then no problem. And here you can see some of the instructions. That is very simple instruction where you can download and just install. It's not some rocket science. So when you click on download here, you get two options here. Either go for the 32-bit or 64-bit. So you can go for the system configurations. If you have a 64-bit, you can choose this one. No need to download the two files. So how to check that? You can go to the system information. So if you go to system information here, you can see system type. Either it could be a 32-bit or 64-bit. So in case if your system is 64-bit, try to download this. If it is 32-bit, you use this one. So if it is 32-bit, don't try to install the 64-bit, right? So choose this one. So choose any of this and click on download. It will download and it is simple installation. Just click on next. It will install in your system. So if anyone is installing this particular Power BI now, I'll wait for 5 minutes. I'll give 5 minutes. If you have any doubts, please raise your hand and I'll just guide you how to install it properly. If not, then we can go ahead with the further. And along with that, try to install SQL Server. So going forward, we will be learning about SQL and we will bring the data from SQL as well. So two things you need to do from today's session. One is install Power BI Desktop and install SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. It's a software where we can see our data. So even I will show you SSMS. So this is the SQL Server Management Studio. So you can download this and install in your systems. Okay. Well, now once it is installed, then we will go through. I'll just walk you through what all the options available in Power BI Desktop. So once you open the Power BI Desktop first time, so here you can see once you open the first time, right, you will get this window where you can see all the data sources. You can see few of the data sources from here, the common data sources we use. When you click on this icon, you will get a lot of options. We will go through this later. And then here you can see the recommended introduction to Power BI. We have few of the documents. And then here you can see the recent Power BI files. So in case if you are already worked on Power BI, here you can see all the recent files which you can open directly. And apart from this, we have options and settings, sign-ins and about. These are the common things. So when you click on get data from other sources, so that will open the new window where you can see all the data sources here. So for this particular window, we have three ways to get this particular window. So when you go to Power BI Desktop, we have an option called Get Data here. So when you click on More, you will get this window. And we have a query editor, which is separate window. It's apart from the Power BI Desktop, you will get another window where you can do all the transformations. Even here, you can see Get Data option. When you go to New Source, if you click on More, you will get the same window, right? So I'll just walk you through one more time. When you open the Power BI Desktop first time, Here you can see uh, options, frequently used options. And if you still want to get the data from the different data source, or if you want to see all the available options, you can click on this. So that is first thing. And here, in case if you don't have any data available, or else if you join any interview, right, say they'll ask you some questions where you need the sample data. So Power BI has default sample data where you can import directly without going to any website and bringing any your local system. So here we have option called Learn with Sample Data. So when you click on this, it will load the sample data for you. Okay. In case if you don't have any available data, so you can click on this and that will load the sample data. So today we will get the data from both on-premise and cloud. For on-premise, we will use Excel today, and for cloud, for today we will be using. We'll get some data from any of the websites. So websites, obviously, it will be hosted in the cloud, right? That will be accessible for everyone. So we will get some sample data from website. So let's see how to get the data to. So we have option called get data. When you click on more, here we have a different options. One is file. So when you click on file, you will get all the options related to the file. Either it could be Excel, text, XML, JSON, PDF, Parquet file, SharePoint folder. When you go to databases, here you can see all the databases like SQL database, Access, Oracle, IBM, MySQL. If you go to Microsoft Fabric, you will get all the related Microsoft Fabric. So they have segregated these databases. When you click on all, you can see all the list of databases available. So now we have to get the data from Excel, right? So choose Excel and click on connect here. So when you click on connect, it will get the data from your local system. As I said, it is on-premise, right? So it will look for the file in your system. So I have a sample data here. I need to select this, click on open. So now here it will list down all the tables available. So first let me show you how this file looks like. So here you can see I have only one sheet here. So let's say I have five sheets and the five different tables. It will list down all the five tables here. So right now I have only one sheet, which is sales. So that is the reason I'm able to see only one table. So when you select this one, it will show the preview of the data here. So this preview of this data, it will show all the columns, all the available columns in your data, but only few rows, just to see how the data looks like, right? This is sample data. So here you can click on the different table to see how the data looks like. Then you can select. If you select this one, this particular option, then this two options gets highlighted. So if you unselect this one, you can see these two options are not highlighted, right? So now I have just selected this one. Now you can see we have two options are highlighted. So what is this two options about? So first one is load, transform data. So when you choose load, it will directly load the data to your Power BI desktop. When you click on transform data, it will load the data. It will load the data to Power Query Editor. So both are different windows. Don't get confused. I'll just show you now. So let's say when I click on load now you can see the data is loading directly to Power BI desktop. So if you feel that data is cleaned, there is no further transformations need on the Power desktop. I mean your data, you can directly load your data to Power BI desktop. Or else or else you can click on transform data. So that will open a new window called query editor. So this is the place where we do all the transformations. Transformations is nothing but cleaning the data. So now you can see background, we have a Power BI desktop and we have another separate window called Power Query Editor. So we have two windows. One is Power Query Editor, where we do all the transformations on our data. Transformations are nothing but cleaning our data. In case if data is not structured properly, if data has any some discrepancies or some raw data, so we will be doing cleaning on that. And we have a Power BI desktop where we do data modeling. Then we will do some analysis on the data and we'll be creating like calculated columns, tables, measures. Finally, we create a report and from there we will publish our data. But if you want to clean a data, we have a separate window called Power Query Editor, right? So this is the Power Query Editor where we do all the transformations. So from next 2 weeks, we will be working on the Power Query Editor. So here, when we come to Power Query Editor, here you can see all the data available in your file. So here we can see we have a different columns. This we call it as a column, and this is different records. So each record has some values here. For example, if you look at this particular record, we have order date, reason is central, and representative, and item, and number of units, unit cost, and total sales happened. And let me walk you through the UI of this particular query editor. So first thing, if you want to get the new source, let's say right now I have a table here. Again, if you want to get another data from different data source or from the same data source, again, you can click on the new source here. So that will open the new window, which is get data. So we have seen that, right? So when you click on the new source again, so again, you can get the data. Now let's see how to get the data from cloud. So right now we have seen how to get the data from on-premise, right? So which is Excel data. Now let's see how to get the data from cloud. So now let me go to any of the websites and let's bring some data. Uh, Okay, we have Cricket World Cup data, which is available in Wikipedia. So this is hosted in cloud, right? Anyone can access this particular website. So now let's see how to get the data from this particular website. So if you look at this website, we have a different tables. So backend, behind the scenes for this particular website, how they have articulated this in the sense like they have a different tables to show this data. If you look at the men's cricket World Cup winner, we have a year champion, which has have a year under champion. And so here, even this is one of the tables. And here we have another table. We have the table here. So let's see how to get this data to our Power BI desktop. Not only this, if you can go to any website, if the data is available, we can bring that. So let's go to web data. You can search here as well. In case if you know that exact data source, you can search here. So choose web and click on connect. So here you need to paste the URL of that. So I just pasted the URL and click on OK. So now you can see we got all the tables available in this particular website. So we have a two options when you bring the data to website. We have a two views. One is table view or web view. When you click on web view, you can see the same web view which is available here. if you want to see any web view. And we have a table view. So in table view, let's see when I select this Cricket World Cup. So now you can see the table available in this particular website. So if I go to this website, let us see where this table is available. So we have administrator, international cricket. So this is the table. So how they populated this particular view? Behind the scenes, like backend in the database, they have this table. So in future, if they want to do any changes, they will go to this table. Let's say number of teams. In future, we got two more teams. So backend in the database, what they will do, they will go to this table and they will do the changes here. Instead of 14, they will update this as a 16. So that will reflect in this website. So we have this particular table here. And if I go to this, right now you can see all the available tables, right? When we got the data from Excel, we had only one table. Now you can see all the different tables available. So whenever you select any table, it will show the preview of that data. So table one, we got the tournaments and the list of years which tournaments happened. So we have this table here. And here we have men's cricket World Cup winners. So here you can see men's cricket World Cup winners. We have a year and champions. And if you observe properly here, data is not cleaned in every table. If I go to the Cricket World Cup, now you can see we don't have column headers here. We have some blanks. If I go to this particular table, if you see here, we have years in single row itself. It's supposed to be in different rows, but everything is in one row. So whenever you bring the data, right, don't expect every time you get the clean data. So you have to do this transformations from your end, right? If I go to table three, so now look at this data. So right now, if you look at this table five, right, which has number of team season hosts. So where you can see the number of team seasons, team, all this data, right? So if you look at this data, it is not clean. It is not in proper structure. So there you need to do the transformations and you need to bring it in proper structure. So we have the different people. So, okay, now let's load this data, any of this data. Let's say I want this particular table. Okay. Now click on OK. Now, if you observe here, I got two tables. One is from on-premise, which is sales data, and another table is from cloud. So you can bring the data from different data sources. Either it could be on-premise and cloud together. So that is one of the beautiful features of Power BI, where you can bring data from on-premise and cloud together. So in interviews, if they ask like, can we get the data from on-premise and cloud together? Yes, it is possible. And can we get more than, but can we get the data from more than one source? Yes, of course. We got that from two different sources, right? One is from Excel, another is from website. And in real time, you will be having a different data source. You will be getting data from SQL, you will be getting data from Excel, you will be getting data from the different data source like CRM, could be any other Python files, XML, JSON. So any doubts till now? No. Okay, great. Am I going too fast? In case if you feel that I'm rushing, you can stop me over there. And if you want, if you have any doubts, if you don't understand any of the concepts, ask me. I'm ready to explain even 100 times. So only my goal is that you should understand and you should learn something out of this session. Okay. Well, right now we got the data, and I'll just walk you through different options available in the query editor. So first thing is like, still if you want to get the data from different data source, you can go here. Here you can click, if you click on more, again, we have a lot of options. And here we have another option called recent sources. So if you click on this, you can see all the recent sources, whatever you have used. So right now we got the data from this website and we have a sample. And recently I have used Superstore data and Hyderabad hotels. So all this data. And apart from the outside data, like on-premise data or cloud data, if you still want to create a data on your own in your Power BI, we have option called enter data. So by using this data, you can create your own table. Let's say I have a student data. If you want to create your on in Power BI itself. Okay. So here you can give the table name. When you click on OK, that will load as another table here. So right now you can see we got the data from three sources. One is from cloud, another is from on-premise, and one is from Power BI itself, where we entered the data manually. So there are some cases where you need to enter the data manually. So this is the option where you can, enter the data manually. So these are the three options from new query. Either you can get the data from outside, or you can enter the data in Power BI itself. Data source setting will come back later. Parameters will come back later. Refresh, all these options will come back later. So refresh in the sense, let's say we have a data here, and if you want to refresh the data, so in real time, data gets refreshed every day, right? So if you don't refresh the data here, you will see the old data. If you want to refresh, if you want the live data, you need to refresh here. We have different options in refresh. We'll come back to this later. We have a properties. If you want to rename your table, we have a different ways to do that. For example, I have this men's cricket World Cup winners. I don't want this. I want only this as a cricket, right? If you want to rename, we have three ways to do this. Either you can double click here, or else you can rename here. Now let's say I rename this as a cricket. That will rename the table here. Or else we have other option called, you can go to the properties. So here you can rename the table. So for every transformations, we have a lot of options to do in Power Query Editor. So just changing the table name, we have either you can do this, even we can go to rename this option as well. So either you can double click, or you can right click and do the rename, or you can change the options from this properties, or we have option here, it's the properties. Okay, this is how you rename the table. And then we have advanced editor where you can see the inquiry of your data. This is little advanced. We'll come back to this later. What is inquiry and what we can do at inquiry? We will come back to this later. Then manage columns. So this is all about the column transformations, where if you want to remove the columns or if you want to choose columns, all these options. And these are the row transformations. If you want to remove the rows, if you want to remove the blank values. So all these options we can do from this row transformations. And if you want to sort the data, we can sort the data in different ways. Either you can sort from here. If you want to, you can see if you want to sort descending or ascending, or else here we have option called ascending or descending. Even you can do the sorting from here as well. We have a split column where if you want to split the data, we have a lot of options available in split columns. So where, let's say if you want to split any columns, right now if you see, we have a West Indies, and West Indies, instead of that, we have a two here. So I don't want this data. So I want to split. I want only this, country's name here. So we have different options here. Um, so where we can do all the splits available, so that we will come back to this later. So whatever the transformations you do at query editor, everything will be recorded in the update steps. Right now, if you observe, I just did the split that has added one step here. If you don't want the step, you can undo this by just clicking here. And we have a group by, and we have other transformations where we can extract the data. We can do the format. Let's say I just want everything in the capital case, like uppercase. So when I click on this, everything got into uppercase. I want everything in lowercase. I can do that. So right now I did uppercase first, then I did lowercase. So I got two update steps here. So right now I don't want these steps. I can just undo this. And then we can replace the values, add columns, and other options. So no need to worry. So going forward for next 2 weeks, we will be using every options available in this Power Query editor. So for today's session, we will focus on the row transformations. Okay. First, first options in the row transformations. Okay, let's go to this data. This looks little. Okay. We have 43 rows. If you observe here, we have 43 rows, right? Now, let's say I want only the top 5 rows. I don't want other data for my further analysis. So what I can do, if you go to keep rows, I have keep top rows option. So when I click on this, here you need to mention number of rows you want to keep in your data. So I want only 5 rows. So when I click on OK, that will have only 5 rows in your data. And here you can see in applet steps, we got like kept five first rows. So whenever you can see these options in uplet step, try to keep in the description. Try to keep the proper uplet steps. Like if you keep this option like kept first rows, when you share this file to someone else, they won't understand by looking at this. They have to go to this option again to understand, okay, you removed the first 5 rows. You kept only first 5 rows. But best practice is keep proper description here. So either right click this and click on rename. So I have kept first 5 rows. So now when I share this file to someone, by looking at this separate steps, they'll understand, okay, you have kept only first 5 rows out of this whole data. So that's how you just keep maintain proper update steps. So if you don't want, okay, by mistake, you kept only 5 rows, but you want to keep the 10 rows, but you're supposed to keep 10 rows, but by mistake, you kept 5 rows. Either you can undo this, or we have option, click on this gear icon, that will bring the same window. There you can change this one, 10 rows. So now you can see we got the 10 rows. Okay. And if you feel that by mistakenly I have applied this step, just undo this one. Right now we got the whole data back. This is the first option in keep rows. So first is keep rows. So here you need to mention number of rows you want to keep from the data. If I go to this cricket table, let's say I don't want this old data. I want only from, this particular from 2000, I need the data from 2003. Okay, let me do this descending. I want only top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, right? Keep rows. And so right now I got only data from 2000s. And the next option is keep bottom rows. From bottom, how many rows you want to keep? The same way how we kept the keep rows from top, right? I want only from top from bottom 3. So just go to keep bottom and choose 3. Now, what are the bottom rows? We have 1975, 79, and 1983. When I click on OK, we have only those bottom 3 rows. And keep range of rows. Let's say you need, right now we have seen from top how many rows you want to keep, from bottom how many rows you want to keep. And if you want to have a data which is in middle of this data, let's say I want first row would be from third row. And from third row, I want number of rows. Let's say I want uh, like 4 rows. So when I click on OK, from third row, I got 4 rows. That's what we kept it here, right? From third row, we need number of rows 4. If I undo this one, I can see third row is 2015. From there, we took 4 rows. So that is keep rows. And keep duplicates, keep errors. There are some cases where you keep duplicates and keep errors. Right now, we don't have in that data. In future, while we are discussing about the errors and duplicates, I will discuss about these two options. So any doubts regarding this keep rows? The simple transformations and very basic transformation. The next option is remove rows, just opposite to keep rows. If you want to remove top rows, let's say I want to remove top 3 rows. I don't want 2023, 19, 2015 data for my further report. I just remove this top 3 rows. That will remove 2023, 19 or something. So right now we data from 2011 and remove bottom rows. From bottom, if you don't want any of the rows, you can remove those. And remove alternate rows. Let's say I just want to remove the alternate rows. You can click on this and you can specify the from where you want to start this. Let's say from second row, number of rows to remove. Either you want to remove 1 row or if you want to remove 3 rows. So you can specify here that will remove the alternate rows and remove duplicates. In case if you have a duplicate data, so that will remove the duplicates. Let's see in our data, enter data. So right now, if you see, I have a duplicate data here. So in real time, you will be getting a lot of duplicate data. So if you want to delete that whole duplicate data, just with one option, like if you click on remove duplicates, that will remove the duplicate values here. Okay, that is remove duplicates and remove blank rows. In case if you have a null values here, um, okay. As of now, let's take this particular table, table 4. So now you can see we have a one null record, right? So if you don't want this one, so you can choose this and click on remove blank rows. That will remove this particular blank row. Sorry, we have a data here. So in case if we have null values in the whole row, it will remove the total blank row. So right now we don't have that. We will see in the future sessions. And then we have remove errors. In case if you have errors available, so we can click on remove errors. So there are other ways to remove these rows. When you hover your mouse on this particular uh, bar, right, where you can see the different colors, we have option called remove empty. So that will remove the empty values from this data. So if you want to remove the nulls, either you can do it from here or we have option here where you can just hover your mouse. That will show you the remove empty. in case if you have empty values in that particular column. So when you click on remove empty, that will remove the empty rows from this particular column. But one problem is that when you select this column and remove empty, that will remove the whole record. So that you need to keep in mind. So if you look at this, right now we have this null data, but there is some data available in this winner result. We need this for further analysis. But if you remove this, that will remove the whole record. Okay, that's all about those row transformations. For today, we will close the session with this row transformations. From tomorrow, we will go look into more transformations like column transformations, and then we'll look into split columns. Yep. That's all from my end. And like, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Fine. If you don't have any questions, then we can good to close the call. I will share you the lab where you can have where you will have a step by step Power BI installation. If you don't have any Power BI installed in your systems, try to install by today so that you will start practice related to this options. So though I have explained all these options, right? If you don't practice, you won't get you don't understand these options. So these are very simple transformations, which I'm just showing now, either column transformation, row transformation. But going forward, we will go to some advanced transformations like pivot, unpivot. We'll do the transpose, and we use some trigonometry, rounding functions, information functions, and custom columns, conditional columns. So all this, if you have Power BI in handy, it will be easy for you to practice. Right. Fine. Try to install Power BI Desktop and SQL Server. So as of now, I haven't used a SQL Server because it will take time. Maybe it will take another 2 or 3 weeks. Once we start SQL, right? Once we're done with the SQL, we will use that SQL data in our Power BI. All right. If you don't have any further questions, then we are good to close the call. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. Bye.